welcome to the FBL Solidity team call. My name is Marisa Maggio. Today is July 6th of 23, and we are officially going into week 2 of 4 of July. We do have a very special guest on with us today. We have Andrew Orth from Foresters Financial, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about Foresters, the value in Foresters, and the value in their products. When I think to Foresters, to be really transparent with everybody on this call and not to steal away from what Andrew's going to say, but I think of a company that really puts the client and the family actually first. And I also think about how much they really want to help children, right? And I think that that's huge. Losing a parent or a loved one is hard enough, never mind being under the age of 18 and that happening. So just the extra services and bundles that are built in with that. I just absolutely love working with Foresters, and I'm really just grateful to be a part of the team. But without further ado, Andrew, how are you doing today?
Great. No, I appreciate you guys joining the call today. I hope that we're going to provide you with some great information, and stay tuned for the end. We have a little surprise, a little bonus incentive that we are throwing out to agents. So if you guys like money, stay for the end, and we'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek into our incentive. So
awesome.
Perfect. I'm going to try to share my screen. Can you give access, please?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Moment. All good.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
So yeah, hopefully you guys can all see my screen. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna kind of run you guys through the background of Foresters. I'll start with a little bit of our history. If you aren't very familiar with Foresters, I'm glad that you are on the call today. We're gonna kind of break down what makes Foresters unique. Not only do we have amazing life insurance products that you are able to offer to your clients, we also have a whole host of member benefits, because as an insurance company, we are actually one of the very few not-for-profit insurance companies that you probably have the privilege to write with. So as a not-for-profit insurance company, we do get to offer our members a lot more than just life insurance products that help protect their families. We also get to provide them with additional benefits that the proposed insured and their family can actually take advantage of while they're still alive, and they own a life insurance product here with Foresters. So that's what I'm going to cover today. I'm going to kind of cover the Foresters difference and really hit home on some of the unique products that we have to offer to your clients as well. So just a quick background, this sheet that you see, or the slide right here, we actually have this in a consumer brochure. So if you are on the call and you're new to Foresters, or haven't written Foresters a lot, maybe you have a lot of clients that aren't familiar with Foresters, we do have a consumer piece that breaks down the history of Foresters. So the unique thing is we have actually been around since 1874. So we're actually coming up on 150 years now in the life insurance industry. We've actually been A-rated now for 22 consecutive years. And you can see we have a very large surplus of 1.6 billion. So financially, we're a very strong company, and we've been through it all, being in the industry since 1874. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but we are coming up on our 150th birthday now in the life insurance industry. So what I'll ask of you guys to do on the call, if you do have your cell phone on you, feel free to take out your camera, scan that QR code at the very top of the screen here. The QR code is going to go into a lot more depth on all of the different products that you are able to offer here through Foresters. Today, since I've got a limited time, I'm going to kind of give you some quick hitters. I'm going to give you some niche kind of ideas on where you can position some of these products to your clients. But if you want a more in-depth look at all the products, all the riders, all the benefits, feel free to scan that QR code, take a free look through it after this call or during the call here, and ask me any questions that may pop up as well. So as you can see kind of on the screen, we at Foresters, we put our products into 3 different buckets. We have non-medical, we have medically underwritten, and then we also have some awesome simplified issue products. The reason that the non-med and medical actually overlap is because we offer a term product, a whole life product, and a universal life product that can either be written non-medical or medically underwritten with your clients, depending on face amounts they're applying for, health issues. You have some different options there with those products there. We also have some amazing simplified issue products. So if there's any final expense writers on the call, maybe you have some clients between the ages of 50 and 85. They want some lower face amounts, somewhere between 5,000 and 35,000. We do have an awesome final expense product. The one niche I will say about our final expense product, which is called Plan Right, our final expense product, we're one of the few carriers that when it comes to final expense, if you have a client that has COPD or health issues with COPD, We are one of the few carriers that will give your client day one coverage with COPD. Most carriers out there will put them in either a graded or 2-year wait period. Maybe they have to go to a fully, a guaranteed issue final expense product. Here at Foresters, we will still offer them day one coverage, even if they have COPD. So keep that in mind. That's one niche, I guess, on our final expense product that a lot of other carriers don't provide. So our final expense product is called Plan Rate. It is going to be like immediate issue. It's going to be one of those where you complete a phone health interview. As soon as you're done with that, they get the decision on the phone and you go ahead and issue the product. So it is a very quick submit and issue product with our final expense. As we were talking about prior to this call, we also, we help out, we're a middle market carrier trying to help out families. So we also rolled out a Bright Future children's whole life product. So if you have any kids, grandkids, this is going to be the product for them. Couple things to keep in mind about our Bright Future product. It has a 10-pay option, which is very, very popular with those grandparents. If you have a grandparent that wants to insure their grandkids, but they also want to have it paid off before they pass away so that they can gift it to their grandchild as either a birthday present or graduation present, our Bright Future product offers a 10-pay option. So it'll be completely paid up in 10 years. You can gift it to your grandchild. You can gift it to your child, leave them a fully paid whole life product that will continue to grow. The cash value will continue to grow. The death benefit will continue to grow, but it's completely paid off in 10 years. So that's a very popular product with our clients, especially if you're going into the house or you're talking to a family, you find out they have kids or grandkids. That's a great one to add on to make sure the entire family is being insured. The second thing about that Bright Future product, let's say you are working with grandparents. A lot of grandparents have 5, 6 grandkids. That's not just 1 or 2. They want to insure all their grandkids. You can actually put up to 6 kids or grandkids on one application and submit one application for all 6 of them. So the reason that's a big selling point, it's going to save the client a lot of time. It's going to save you as the agent a lot of time. You don't need to submit 6 different applications and get 6 different signatures. It's going to be one application for up to 6 kids or grandkids. One signature signs it all off. You'll send it into Foresters. Each child or grandchild still receives an individual policy or certificate. It's just that the application is going to be streamlined where you only have to submit one for up to 6 kids or grandkids. So makes it a lot easier there for you on the application side of things. And then the last product there is our simplified issue product. We do have an accidental death only product. It's called Prepared 2. This is actually very popular with a lot of our, especially our FFL agents, because it's so quick. It's almost guaranteed issue. We're only going to ask 2 questions on the application. Are you in the military? And what's your driving record? Any DWIs or DUIs, anything like that? If they don't have anything like that, because it's accidental death only, we're asking no health questions. So this is a very popular product for those clients. Potentially, maybe they're getting declined everywhere else. They just can't they can't find coverage. Well, because accidental death asks no health questions, you can actually pivot to that product and still get them some coverage. We still go up to $500,000 on our accidental death term product there. So keep that in mind. If they are looking for some accidental death coverage, you can go all the way up to $500,000 here with Foresters. It's basically guaranteed issue. There's just going to be a few lifestyle questions on the application, and we'll instantly approve and issue that product here at Foresters. So like I said, that's kind of our portfolio. Hopefully you guys scan that QR code. It'll go into a lot more depth on those simplified issue products as well.
Quick question, Andrew, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
while you transition. For that accidental death only product, do you need a health license to write that, or does it qualify under a life only?
Yeah, great question. So that is the only product that we do require your health license as well. Yeah, so it's going to be a health license with that product.
Awesome. Thank you for clarification.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so we're going to kind of jump into it. Now, I know a lot of us, especially at Foresters here, we do a lot of non-medical business. We like the quick, easy, simplified issue, get it in the door, get it paid, and move on with the case. So same with Foresters. We do a lot of non-medical business with our agents. So how the non-med platform works here at Foresters, we are going to have it between the ages of 0. We go all the way up to age 80 on our non-med business. It's going to be fast. The nice thing about submitting e-apps with Foresters is if you submit an electronic e-app and it's in good order, which just means that our underwriters have all the pertinent information up front, the questionnaires were all sent in with the e-app, we can provide you as the agent a decision within 10 minutes or less. So if you submit the e-app, you'll get an email within about 10 minutes letting you know a couple different things, letting you know if they were approved, letting you know if they were declined, or letting you know if we need more information before we make a decision. So one of those three things will happen within the first 10 minutes, but we will provide you some sort of a decision based off that application. If it's a non-medical application and it's in good order, you can receive those quick decisioning from foresters on those applications. The other thing is we are very flexible. We actually increase some of our products now non-medically all the way up to $500,000. So we do allow for up to $500,000 on our term product, and that's the one I'm going to touch on here next. So if you guys aren't familiar with Strong Foundation, definitely take some notes on this. There's some great niches for your clients out there that are going to be huge when I go through my presentation here. So first thing first, we actually go all the way up to age 80 on a term product. So you can still offer your client a 10-year term all the way up to age 80. A lot of other carriers will cap that at 75, maybe 70, but at Foresters, you can still write a 10-year term up to age 80. We see a lot of agents using that potentially with mortgage protection, potentially with some of their older clients that took out a mortgage when they were 60, 65, 70, but they still want some coverage, but they need more death benefit than a final expense product. This is an awesome alternative to that. You can still go up to those higher face amounts. You can still write it all the way up to issue age 80 and still get them that term product. So on this product, we will go as low as 50,000 and as high as $500,000, depending on the age and the situation with the client. So the one big niche, this is the first one we're going to touch on. If you're sitting on this call and you can think of a family member, friend, coworker, someone in this room that's currently living with diabetes. Most diabetics, specifically when it comes to life insurance, find it very hard to find a carrier that will approve them. So what Foresters did about 2 years ago, we actually rolled out and actually expanded our non-medical underwriting to approve type 1 and type 2 diabetics on a non-medical basis. Currently in the marketplace right now, with all the carriers you guys are able to write, Foresters is the only carrier from a non-medical standpoint that will approve a type 1 diabetic. So if they are currently using insulin to help control their diabetes, Foresters will be the only carrier that if that client wants to just apply non-medically and potentially get approved on a non-medical basis, Foresters is the only carrier that will offer you a product that allows them to do that. So keep that in mind. That's very popular, especially with those type 1 diabetics, especially with those diabetics that are using insulin to control their diabetes. So as I mentioned, if you're looking at this product, if you're a type 1 or type 2 diabetic, we'll still accept standard tables 1 through 6. But what we did a few years ago is we extended our underwriting all the way to table 12 now. So instead of getting declined at table 6 or table 7, table 8, we extended it all the way out to table 12 for those clients living with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. I'm sure everybody on the call can think of somebody they know that a friend, coworker, family member, or there's someone that they know that is currently living with diabetes. And I'm sure if you've asked them if they've tried to get life insurance, it's probably been difficult. They've either been rated on a medical case or it took forever to go through the medical exam. That's why Foresters, being a middle market carrier, rolled out this product and expanded our underwriting for type 1 and type 2 diabetics. We really want to help that middle market crowd. The big reason for this, and I guess the increases of what we have, if you have a client that currently has an A1C of 10.9 or lower, we will still consider them on our Strong Foundation product. 8.9 will be a standard rating. Anything above 8.9, we will still accept all the way up to 10.9. That would just be substandard, but you still get approved. So keep that in mind. It's a big selling point. If you have some of those diabetic clients that potentially don't have their diabetes fully under control yet, even if it's all the way up to a 10.9, we will still potentially approve them. Simplified issue, non-medical, just submit the application and we'll take a look. The only other thing that we look at minus A1C is going to be how long they've been living with diabetes. And we also want to know what their height and weight is. So as long as they have no complications, neuropathy, retinopathy, no nerve damage or eye damage because of the diabetes, you'll still have a good chance of getting approved non-medical. So keep that in mind. That's going to be probably the biggest niche that we have on this product right now is those type 1 and type 2 diabetics. Now, the reason that we rolled this out 2 years ago was because the numbers were dramatically growing in the US, right? There's 37 million Americans currently that have diabetes. another 96 million Americans that are pre-diabetic. So the opportunity to help out the 133 million current diabetics, that's the reason that we expanded this. We heard from a lot of clients and agents that it's getting more and more difficult to help out diabetics get coverage. So Foresters wanted to make it easier by rolling out a non-medical option for that, which is the reason why we expanded our underwriting. So keep that in mind, guys. This is going to be a good selling point if you run into those types of clients. At least now you have somewhere to pivot and to help those clients still potentially get coverage, and it's on a non-medical basis. So that's the first niche. Second niche that I want you guys to write down. When it comes to Strong Foundation, the same product we've been talking about, the Strong Foundation non-med term product, if you have a client that uses anything other than cigarettes, so if they use anything else on this screen, cigars, vapes, chewing tobacco, pipe, nicotine patches, all of that is still going to be considered non-tobacco rates on Strong Foundation. So if you've ever compared non-tobacco and tobacco rates with any carrier, the tobacco rates are almost double, if not triple, the non-tobacco rates. So if you can help your client, if you find out that they're using something other than a cigarette, if they're using anything else on the screen, they can still get non-tobacco rates here on this product with Foresters. The other thing you see on the screen is marijuana or cannabis. I know that more and more carriers are becoming lenient on this. I think Foresters was in the forefront because a few years ago we rolled this out with marijuana, that we will actually accept recreational marijuana up to 6 times per week. All we ask is that your client take Sunday off, take 1 day off per week, go back to using it on Monday. That's all we ask. If you take at least 1 day off a week, we will still be able to approve you on a Strong Foundation non-med term, and it's still non-tobacco rates, even if it's marijuana, no matter how you're using it. So keep that in mind. It's a good selling point there. Get them those lower rates with tobacco. Marijuana is becoming more and more, I guess, approved with more states here in the US. So as more states approve it, the amount of insurance companies will become more friendly. But right now, Foresters will still accept it 6 times a week, as long as you take 1 day off a week. So, and here's the numbers to back that up. This is the reason that we rolled this out as well. Currently, there's 11 million Americans using something other than cigarettes, cigars, pipe, chewing tobacco, and another 55 million that are using some sort of cannabis, whether it's edibles or however they use their marijuana or cannabis. So those numbers will continue to grow, which is why we wanted to roll this product out and expand kind of the tobacco marijuana definition on this product. So that was our Strong Foundation non-med term. I want to just briefly mention our Your Term. So our Your Term is our medically underwritten term product. It's going to be very similar in terms of, you'll see this very similar durations, 10 to 30 years. We still go up to age 80. The only difference on this is we will start it at a minimum of 100,000 medically underwritten, but you can also go into the millions. So if you're looking for clients that maybe want a higher face amount, or potentially you have a super healthy client that wants the lowest rates available in the industry, they can also look at our medically underwritten term. You're going to get a lot lower rates if they're healthy and can get approved potentially with like a preferred plus or preferred rating. They can also look at the Your Term going medically underwritten and get some lower rates than maybe some non-med options as well. So the last thing I'll say about our term products here at Foresters, you also have the ability to initially help out your clients with those term products and then actually convert them over to one of our permanent products, whether that's whole life or our universal life product. The reason this is going to be very popular for you is it's kind of a win-win for both the client and you as the agent. So the way that our conversion period works is if it's going to depend on 1 of 2 factors. It's going to be 5 years before the term expires or age 65, whichever one comes first. So let me give you 2 examples. You help out a 30-year-old client, you sold them a 30-year term. They'll have the first 25 years to have the ability to convert that over to some sort of a permanent product. Now, if you help out a little bit of an older client, let's say they're 50 years old, but you still sell them a 30-year term, because they're 50 and 65 is 15 years away, they will have the first 15 years to convert that product. So it's whichever one comes first, either 5 years before that term duration is over or age 65. Now, the reason this is a big selling point for the agent and the client, let's start with the client. We just talked about Strong Foundation. They can get all these non-tobacco rates. They can get approved as a type 1 diabetic. The nice thing when you convert that over is you're going to keep the exact rating that you got on Strong Foundation or your term product, and you're going to be able to keep that when you roll it over, convert it over to your permanent product. So what that means is if you have if you go through Strong Foundation, someone's vaping every single day and they get a non-tobacco rate on Strong Foundation because we're more lenient on vaping. When they convert that over to a UL or a whole life product, they get to keep their non-tobacco rates, even if they continue to vape with our whole life or our universal life product. So they're going to get a lot lower rates on our permanent products and our term product if you went with Strong Foundation and got them that non-tobacco rate. So that's why it's a win for your client. You're going to help them get that permanent coverage. Why it's a win for the agent is, well, most of us are in the industry to make money. So if you like money, if you convert this over 2 years, so if you get the term product and then you convert it over to a UL or a whole life product 2 years after the term product was issued, it's going to be 100% commissionable as a second sale. So you'll get paid 100% on that first sale, that term product. 2 years later, you convert it over, 100% commission on that second sale. So you're making 2 sales off the same client. You're also helping that client keep that rating and get permanent coverage. So that's why I'm saying it's a win-win for both of you guys. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you work with that client, help them convert it over 2 years later, and you guys will get paid on 2 separate sales, though, the term and the permanent coverage. So the next product that we'll touch on real briefly is our Smart UL. Now, the reason that I like to touch on this product is a lot of other carriers right now offer what's called an IUL or an indexed UL. The Smart UL is actually a current assumption UL. So there's a few kind of distinct differences between an IUL and kind of our current assumption or our Smart UL here at Foresters. The first one is that IULs will follow an index, some sort of index like an S&P 500, or it's going to follow some sort of an indexing marker within the stock market or the marketing. So what we do here at Foresters with a current assumption UL, our actual rating or our interest rate comes from an internal market that we have here at Foresters. So most of everything that we invest in is mutual funds. So when it comes to like a current assumption UL, the pros and cons, you're not going to have the big fluctuations. Like an IUL, you're going to see a lot more fluctuation in the interest rate because as the S&P market and everything fluctuates, your interest rate fluctuates as well. On a current assumption UL, you don't have the big fluctuations. You're going to see a lot more consistent interest rate, which a lot of times for clients, especially in high volatility times, they want more consistency than they would do the potential of the upside of an IUL. So that's going to be one pro here of a current assumption universal life product. Now, our interest rate right now on our UL is at 4.55%. The nice thing about a current assumption UL, we also have a guaranteed floor of 2%. So it'll never go below 2% no matter what happens in the market, but we also provide the upside. It's currently at 4.55. The nice thing, like I said, is it's very consistent. I think last year and the previous years, I've seen it go up to about 4.75. I've never seen it go below 4.5 in the 5 years I've been with Foresters. So it's been very consistent right around that 4.5%. But you also have that guaranteed 2% if something were to happen in the market. So just keep that in mind. Your clients still have a lot of flexibility with the premium. They can overfund this product. I actually see this used a lot, as we talked a lot about kids, for college funding. Because if you do have some juveniles, but you have a grandparent or parent that wants to help save some money for their college, you can actually have a grandparent or a parent overfund a universal life product, put some extra money into it, and really build their cash value so that in 15 or 10 years down the road, if they want to take out a loan to help pay for their college, you can do that inside of our UL product. So keep that in mind. It is used a lot there for kind of the college funding or really helping to overfund the UL product. When it comes to face amounts, it's going to depend. Like I said, the Smart UL, the whole life and the term, you can go one of two options. So non-medical, you can go as low as 25,000 and up to 400,000 is the maximum on a non-medical basis. And then on the medical underwriting side, it's going to be somewhere, it depends on the age, but the majority of your clients will be in that 16 to 70 range. So you're going to see as low as 100,000 up into the millions, depending on the face amount that your client's looking for as well. So it's a very popular product because of that. The last thing I'm going to mention about our universal life product here at Foresters, we have preferred loans on this product starting at year 8. So for the first 7 years, if your client were to take out a loan against their cash value, the loan interest on that would be at 4%. If they wait until years 8 onward, that loan interest drops down to 2%. I dare you to go find an interest rate, a loan interest rate lower than 2% at a bank, right? That's the whole purpose that a lot of clients want to use life insurance, build up their cash value, and then take those advantageous loans out from their cash value that's being built up. So if that client waits 8 years, they're only paying 2% interest on that loan. Plus, there's no time frame on when they have to pay it back. Because they're using their death benefit as collateral, the client can decide if they want to pay it back, if they never want to pay it back, or how they want to pay it back. So it provides them a lot more flexibility on the loan repayment option as well, because they're using their death benefit as collateral on that loan. So definitely keep that in mind, those preferred loans starting year 8 on our universal life product. And then lastly, I'll kind of just briefly talk on our Advantage Plus U product here. The reason I always add this in here last is we've been hearing a lot of buzz, whether it's FFL or other organizations that we work with, on a lot of different type of like cash accumulation whole life products. So there's a lot of concepts out there, whether it's infinite banking, debt-free life. Basically, it's cash accumulation inside of a whole life product. How does that work? So at Foresters, we get a lot of buzz about that because we have a participating whole life product. And we participate in those dividends. We pay out dividends on our whole life product. Because of those dividends, it makes it very appealing for those clients that want to build the cash value up inside of their whole life product and then take out those loans later on. So how this works here at Foresters, there's 2 different options, kind of similar to our juvenile whole life product, where that had the 10 pay option or the pay to 100. On our Advantage Plus 2, our participating whole life product, it has a 20 pay option. So you can condense it into 20 years, or you can do the traditional paid up at age 100 and just pay on it all the way to age 100 on the product. Now, when you look at the face amounts, it's going to be very similar to our other permanent product, the Universal Life. You can go as low as $25,000 non-medical, up to $400,000, depending on the age. And then same medically underwritten, we can actually drop this one as low as $50,000 medically underwritten, and it goes high in the millions as well. The one reason that we lowered this to $50,000 on the face amount on a medically underwritten case is because when you are building those cash accumulation whole life products, most of the time your clients are looking for the lowest cost of insurance, the highest amount of premium going into cash value. So that's the reason that we designed it this way. You can actually drop your face amount pretty low, all the way to $50,000, and really overfund this product to build up the cash value, which is the main purpose besides a lot of these cash accumulation whole life products. So as I mentioned, it's a participating whole life. So there's a couple different dividend options. I'm not going to touch on every single one of them here. The paid up additional insurance is the one that's most uniquely used. And that just means that when Foresters go to credit their dividend at the end of the year, we actually just reinvest that dividend back into our whole life product, which helps to build your cash value and your death benefit over time. So if your client is into that cash accumulation side of things, they're going to want to look at using paid up additions on their dividends to really reinvest and build up their cash value. The last thing I'll say on this product, if you are doing this for a cash accumulation, I know there's a lot of information, and I know I go through it kind of fast on the presentation. I highly recommend reaching out directly to me after this call if you do have clients that are inquiring about it, because I can definitely help you with the design of it. If you're looking for an illustration, or if you just want to see how it works, maybe you want to look at one for yourself or a family member or a friend, we can definitely help you guys design it and show you how the cash value grows. But there's a couple different buckets that we look at. We do base coverage. We actually have a 10 or 20-year term rider inside of the product that you can add into it. And then we also have what's called a paid up additions rider. The paid up additions rider is how you overfund this product and really build up the cash value. So if you're new to this concept, or something on this Advantage Plus cash accumulation sounded good to you, feel free to reach out to me. I can do some more training, a smaller group or one-on-one on how to actually design that type of a whole life product, because it's a little bit more of an in-depth, I guess, concept. But these are still some really nice cases, especially if you have clients that want to build up their cash value and take out those loans. The last thing I'll say on this product here is that the product does offer what's called a non-direct recognition loan. So if you are doing this for cash accumulation, you want to work with those companies that offer non-direct recognition loans because of one. I'm going to kind of give you an example. If you have a client that has $100,000 of cash value and they want to take out a loan against that cash value, let's say they want to take out $50,000. They have a $50,000 loan and then they have $50,000 left in their cash value. When it goes to crediting the dividend here at Foresters, we will credit the dividend to the full $100,000 of cash value, even though your client has $50,000 in a loan. So because of that non-direct recognition loan, where we credit the full dividend to the full cash value, Even with loans outstanding, your client can really compound their cash value quicker and actually build up more cash later on. So that's why it's a great concept. That's why this is a perfect product for those infinite banking, debt-free life, or just cash accumulation whole life clients that you may run into because of that loan process there. Okay, so lastly, when it comes to our different underwriting here at Foresters, I want you guys to take note of this because this was new probably about a year ago here at Foresters. If you have those very healthy clients, they want to get those very low rates, but they don't want to have to go through fully underwritten. They don't want it to take 3 to 4 or 5 weeks. They don't want to have a nurse come out and prick them or draw their blood or whatever it may be. Foresters came out with an accelerated underwriting program. So if your client falls within these parameters, mostly between ages 18 to 55, and they're looking for $100,000 to $1 million of coverage, they have to be in good health. But if they fall within those parameters there, they have a potential that we can approve them through accelerated underwriting. They still can get the best rates like preferred plus or preferred. They just don't have to go through the full medical underwriting. Because we can bypass the paramed, the blood, and the urine, we can actually give that client a decision within 7 business days or less. So from submission to issue, we still give them the best rates in the industry. We can also provide them a decision in 7 business days or less. So take a look at that. We have this flyer on our website, or I can send it out to the group after this call. But this flyer here kind of breaks down the clients that can and cannot be accepted on the program. So there's some knockout conditions. There's a height and weight chart in there. And it also talks about different blood pressure, cholesterol, different types of medication. So see if your client's a good fit. If you're unsure, I would still put them through the program. If they have to go fully under and afterwards, Foresters takes care of all that anyway. We're going to order the paramed. But if they, like I said, they can fit through this program, they can get issued in 7 business days or less and still get the best rates in the industry. So it's a very popular option for those very healthy clients, but they don't want to have to go through the fully underwritten. This is a good pivot point. You still apply medically underwritten, but put them in our accelerated underwriting program. The nice thing is when your guys are filling out the application, it's just one extra step. All you got to do is type in accelerated underwriting on the application so that our underwriting team knows that you want to apply for accelerated underwriting. So the very last page of our application, it's called the producer report or agent report. There's a comment box at the very bottom. You can type things into that comment box. All you got to do is type in accelerated underwriting. As soon as our underwriters see that you type that in, they're going to try to put it through our accelerated underwriting program and see if it can get approved. So I recommend if you haven't, maybe you didn't know about this, or maybe you just found out about it today, start using it if you have those super healthy clients that fit within those parameters, because it can really help them get through underwriting a lot quicker and potentially avoid the paramed, the blood, the urine, everything like that. Lastly, on all those products I just discussed, and I know I went through some of the information quickly, but this is being recorded, I think, and I can always provide additional training later. Any of those products that we discussed today, the one thing I like to say is all of those products do come with living benefits. So they will come with chronic, critical, and terminal illness. As long as your client gets that standard rating or better, you'll have access to our accelerated death benefit rider, the living benefits. And the nice thing is it's completely complimentary. The client doesn't pay for the rider. It's on there if they need it. If they never need it, they don't have to pay for it. So it's a good selling point to let your client know the living benefits are available. All 3 are available at standard or above. Okay, so lastly, I just wanted to touch on what makes Foresters unique in the marketplace. So I went over some awesome products with you guys today. Let me just really briefly teach you guys a little bit about Foresters and why we're unique compared to some other life insurance carriers. So as I mentioned, we are probably one or very few insurance carriers that is a not-for-profit insurance company. So what that means from an agent standpoint or a client standpoint, to make it simple, we don't have to pay federal or state taxes. Because as a company, we don't have to pay any taxes, we take that money that we would have paid in taxes and we actually give it back to our clients and their communities. And we do that through a variety of different ways. The most popular one is what we call member benefits. So I'm going to touch on a couple of different member benefits that your clients will automatically gain access to. As soon as they purchase a product from Foresters, they automatically become a member and they automatically gain access to all of these benefits, completely complimentary. They don't pay a dime for them. They have a life insurance product, they become a member automatically, they gain access to these benefits automatically. The nice thing is it's not based off price. So if you sell them a $10 accidental death only product, or you sell them a $1,000 whole life product, they still gain access to all these benefits. We don't care how much they're paying per month. They're still complimentary to every single client that becomes a member here with Foresters and owns a life insurance product with Foresters. So the first one is community grants. Guys, your clients can get $6,400 every single year to give back to their communities. It's completely free. All they got to do is apply for the grants. We give away 3 community grants of $2,000 each every single year. We also give away 2 Foresters Care grants of $200 each. So a total of $6,400 in grants every single year that you can provide to your clients. So if you have a client that likes to give back to their community, or you have a client that just wants to help out their community, whether it's grow a garden, help out with a new basketball court, hockey arena, whatever it may be, you guys can apply for these grants so that your clients can apply and get awarded up to $6,400 every single year to give back to their communities. So keep that in mind. That's something that you're not going to find on a spreadsheet. It's not something that's built into our prices when you're comparing us to other competitors or other companies out there. But $6,400 is a lot of money to give back to your communities. So make sure you guys are talking about that with your clients. The second one, and this is probably our most popular member benefit, is what we call Law Assure. So if you have a client that does not have a will, a power of attorney, or a healthcare directive currently in place, Foresters offers them a free one. We will provide every single client with Foresters a free will, a free power of attorney, and a free healthcare directive. The reason this is so popular is because 68% of your clients that you talk to don't have one of those in place currently. So, and you're providing them with the life insurance protection. You're going to help protect their family. This kind of wraps it all together. Make sure they get a will in place too. Make sure they know that it's completely free. As soon as they purchase the life insurance product, they automatically get a free will as well. The nice thing about this, it's completely customizable online from the comfort of their home. They don't have to go to an attorney. They don't have to make an appointment. They just log in. They type in the state they're living in. It's going to populate forms based off the state that they're living in. And then they just fill out the fillable forms. It's very similar like TurboTax. If you guys ever use TurboTax to do your taxes, that's what Law Assure is on a will or healthcare directive kind of side of things. It's just a fillable form that you go in and you fill it out, and it becomes completely binding once you get to the end of it. So definitely be bringing this up. This one is popular because it pertains to almost every single one of your clients that you're going to discuss or have a conversation with. And then lastly, only because we talked so much about kids today, helping out families, we also provide scholarships to every single child, grandchild, or potentially even the spouse of the proposed insured. So we will give up to $10,000 to every single child. The way that we do this is $2,500 per year. They can apply for the scholarship every 4 year, for a 4-year degree. They can apply each year for 4 years. And if they're approved, they get upwards of $10,000 for the 4-year degree. So as we all know, scholarships and that kind of stuff, there's not that many of them out there, and tuition keeps getting more and more expensive. So this is a very good option if you find out your family has kids or grandkids, or potentially the spouse wants to go back to college. We're able to offer them $2,500 per year for a scholarship, upwards of $10,000 if they do it for 4 years. So keep that in mind. This will be very popular with those families that you're discussing these products with as well. Okay, so lastly, let's get to the fun stuff here. So as an agent, as I mentioned, Foresters rolled out a brand new sales incentive for all agents within FFL on this call, any agent that you know inside of FFL here. So how this program works, first and foremost, I'm glad that we set this call up today because the new quarter just started. This is a quarterly bonus. So we're already through quarter 1, we're already through quarter 2, we're just started quarter 3. So the way that this works is every single quarter with Foresters, we reset our bonus and everybody has the opportunity to apply now for quarter 3. The way that you apply is you need to submit, you need to get issued and paid $20,000 of annualized premium per quarter. That gets you into the program, a minimum of $20,000 annualized premium issued and paid. Once you guys do that, you're going to start getting bonuses. The bonus will start at 12% and it will go all the way up to 18% on top of your normal commissions. So for an example, you're a brand new agent, you're on this call, you say, I'm going to hit that bonus. You submit 20,000 issued and paid, 20,000 bonus or annualized premium, you get 20,000 points this quarter. Foresters will send you a check for $2,400 because that's 12% of $20,000. right? So you're going to get 12% of anything between 20,000 and 25,000. If you submit somewhere between 25,000 and 30,000, that bucket will be 15%. You get 15% on anything from 25 to 30,000. And then anything over 30,000 that you guys submit issued and paid in a quarter, anything over 30,000, you're going to get 18% on top of that. Now, the kicker on this is there's no cap. I'm sure some of you on this call have submitted $50, $75, $100,000 of annualized premium in a quarter, if not more. If you do that with Foresters, there's no cap on it. If you submit 100,000 in a quarter with us, you're going to get 18% on that 30,000 all the way up to 100,000. Our biggest producer, quarter one, received a check for $35,000, a bonus check for $35,000. So he's on pace just in bonuses to make close to 120,000 just in bonuses from Foresters. So this is awesome. We rolled this out to agents, so that's why we want everyone on this call to know about it. Any agent on this call can get into this program and start working with it. So I'm glad that we had this call today because it's brand new. It's quarter three. Hopefully you guys got some good information on the products. Hopefully this incentivizes you guys to look at Foresters a little bit more as well. Take some of our money and use it on whatever you want. But we'll pay anywhere from 12 to 18% on top of your normal commissions here with Foresters. So lastly, couple numbers I want you guys to write down or take note of. We have a great sales support team. So as I mentioned, if you need help with illustrations or you want some product training material mailed out to you, emailed out to you, anything like that, or you just want to talk about a case, you want to kind of talk it through with someone and say, hey, is this a good product or is this a good fit? Call that 866 number, go to option number 1. That's our sales support team here at Foresters. Option number 2 is our risk assessment. I know we talked a lot about underwriting today. If you have some questions, maybe you find out your client's taking a medication or they have some sort of health issue you've never heard of. If you call that 866 number, go to option number 2. That's our risk assessment. We can actually do pre-risk assessments with you. So we can determine if we think they're a good fit for non-medical, medical, or a specific product. Just call into our risk assessment team and they can assist you. And then lastly, you guys, make sure you guys take down our numbers. We're your direct team here at Foresters. Nobody likes to call into a 1-866 number and wait on hold for an hour. So if you want a direct person to talk to, you got Tony Morrison. He's our national sales manager. Myself, I'm the national sales specialist. My name is Andrew. And then we also have a great internal wholesaler, David Johnson. So you guys have a full team here. You can email us. You can call us. We are usually available any time of the day. So reach out to us if you guys have some cases. Like I said, if you want to learn more about any sort of product or concept, we're going to be your direct team here to really assist you with any follow-up questions that you might have.